Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and if you're into Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid as much as I am, you know that a lot of new stuff has just released that changes the game and a lot of the fundamentals that we have so far been used to and kind of turns things on their heads. And I'm talking about more than just more Rangers, more monsters, things along that way. So I'm talking about brand new mechanics and new ideas that we can see getting implemented in future releases for this game. So for this Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid session, I am going to be first using the Arsenal sets for the very first time in my session. Expect them to be in pretty much every session going forward, but this one itself is going to be very, very special because it is a custom scenario that I put together that I will be playing for you. Would love to hear your opinions on it and everything like that. Get ready for my custom Forever Red Power Rangers session. Okay, it's not the most original name going out there. Forever Red, as everyone knows, is the name of that particular episode in Wild Force. And then, of course, as I covered recently on this channel, both the Arsenal set of cards, so you'd be able to see all those broken down, and then the special pack of Forever Red cards that are used to swap in and out cards within a Red Ranger deck. And that's one of the new mechanics. Now, the Arsenal set is a new mechanic in its own right, being able to discard cards from your hands in order to get armor and power-ups and everything in order to make your team stronger. But the Forever Red pack is a pack of cards specifically designed for any Red Ranger and for you to implement a deck building mechanic to it. So you have the cards in your hand and you have the ones from the Forever Red pack and you swap the ones in and out for each other, matching shield to shield. And I went over all of this in the breakdowns for both the Arsenal pack and the Forever Red pack. As always with my sessions, these are broken into 3 parts. This one will be obviously today, next one a few days later, and the third one a few days after that. If you're a YouTube member or a Patreon subscriber, you will gain access to the full uncut version of this session right here, right now. These usually last about 2.5 hours, and it's fun to just kind of sit there and put it on and see how the whole thing plays out right now, rather than having to wait on any type of cliffhangers or whatnot that I happen to put in at the end. But before I get started, I want to hear from you. Have you tried the Forever Red pack yet? Have you tried to incorporate that into your game, whether it be doing an all red team or have you done one Red Ranger with some of the cards mixed in and see how they worked with all the other ones? That's kind of the big thing here is the Forever Red pack, because I think that if we show exactly how awesome this pack is, or at least the potential behind it, then we really could see other Forever colors coming out in the future. But for right now, we have our main team right here. Let's finally get on down to the table. I'll explain the session and get this started. Ready? Here we go. All right, guys, I hope you're ready for this because we're going to be doing this custom-made Forever Red scenario. All the things red, red for days. So first off, we have our 3 characters right here. I will talk about them momentarily and why I chose these particular 3 Red Rangers. But also, I have to just talk about all the other red stuff that is going to be within this scenario. So keep an eye on how I'm doing this. Give it a shot for yourself at home if you think it's as interesting, because I really like the way this turned out. First and foremost, let's just talk about the board here. This is, of course, the advanced side to the boards, the red side, if you would. And that means each one of these areas has a unique ability to it. So let's just start from Stone Canyon, work our way around. Actually, we'll start at the Resistance Hideout, because I'm going to start up at the Zord Graveyard, actually. Resistance Hideout, this is from the Mastodon Troopers, has a max limit of 5. Each time a Ranger in this location uses a Zord ability, the Ranger must discard the top card of the deck, so it's a negative effect. Jumping over to Stone Canyon High for a 4-figure limit, when a Ranger moves away from this location, so if they're in it and that means they move somewhere else, they choose 1 card from their discard pile and places it on top of the deck. That is a positive. The Interstate Highway with a 7, of course, is going to be a negative because it's connecting these two. I think these are the cogs. Yes, the cogs between the two. When a Ranger moves away from this location, they must discard the top card of the deck. So they discard a card here. They gain it. They discard it anytime they move away from the locations. Zord Graveyard. This is the other one from the Mastodon Troopers. At the start of each action phase, randomly choose 1 Zord from the box and place it in this location. So basically you go back into the Zords you did not use for this particular game. You would choose 1 and it would lock into this location. Once per battle, a Ranger in this location may discard 1 Zord from the location and use its ability, which means that if you have monsters or anything here and you have multiple battles, but you also have multiple Zords, you'll be able to use it. But just keep in mind, they're a one-time use deal. I have gone into the game box and have found, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 cards here that are all Red Ranger Zords. Just Red Ranger Zords. Now, there's more than this. There's more than 7. I just took 7 because it's what I had left over from what I did with the game otherwise, and I don't plan on this going 7 rounds because at the beginning of every round, this, the top card from here goes here. So these are the cards that I'll be using. We'll see what Red Ranger Zords happen to make their way into the Zord graveyard as we play. A big thing that I changed, and you may notice here with this one deck, is the Foot Soldier deck. Normally, Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, you choose 2 Foot Soldiers, and whenever you go up against them or whatever in a location, you draw from both of their decks. My deployment deck have Cogs and Mastodon Troopers in it, but really they just represent a Foot Soldier, a generic Foot Soldier. You call it a putty, you call it whatever you want in that location. Doesn't matter which one of them are in the location, I will always be drawing from this deck in order to do stuff. And then at the end of the battle, all of those cards are going to go to the bottom of the deck, and I'm just going to keep cycling through. Eventually, I'll probably shuffle it between rounds or something like that, depending how it is. But there are 20 cards in this deck, and each one of these cards either features a Red Ranger, is primarily tinted in the color red, or has the word red in the title. So that is where I chose. I went through every single minion that is currently available for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid at this point in 2024, June 2024, and I pulled out everyone, 20 of them actually, that have a Red Ranger, have the word red in it, or are a red hue. So that's going to be an interesting thing. It's also just fun to have all the Foot Soldiers in one deck and just a huge variety of different ones that are going to be hitting the field for our Rangers to kind of figure out. Now, I didn't do the centerpiece here. You could always flip over the centerpiece for, assault mode. So if something fills up, then they go to the center. And when they're in the center, if you end your turn with even one minion in here, you immediately lose. So you got to move into the center and get rid of them. I'm not a fan of assault mode, so I have no issue to do it. Plus, in solo mode, the centers don't do anything anyway. They're just dead spaces. So that's why I chose not to use assault mode on this one, but we are using all of the other abilities. With that said, let's head on over to the sideboard and check out our team of Red Rangers for this Forever Red special, and of course, the new Arsenal cards. Okay, so this is probably the most zoomed out I've ever had this area. So we have our deck of Zords here. Again, custom Red Ranger Forever Red thing. The first 6 cards are red, red, red. These are all Red Zords, with obviously each one of their Zords are in it, plus 2 more. The 6th card is a Megazord that features a Red Ranger Zord as a primary thing. And then the rest of the Red Ranger Zords I just threw on the bottom because I figure if my guys continue to level up, they're going to continue to find Red Ranger Zords. So I don't plan on reaching really any of these, but they're here because I like having extra Zords, and I think it's a lot of fun to have. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. Our Arsenal cards right here, remember, 20 of them came in the box. You're supposed to just deal out 10 of them on their own, but there was something that popped up within my Arsenal pack preview that I did not too long ago, and the breakdown of it and whatnot. And someone mentioned how it was kind of weird that you'll get certain Arsenal cards that just don't seem to fit or doesn't work thematically or something along that ways. So what I did, because this is Forever Red, I went through and I pulled all the Arsenal cards that said red, or all the Battleizers, or pretty much a lot of them that feature Red Rangers, which is most of them anyway. I made a 10-card stack as it's supposed to be, shuffled it up, and that is our Arsenal deck. Once I begin the game, I'll shuffle out the first 2 to see what we have, but there we go. That is that. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do in this game. As far as our team goes over here, we have Marv Shin, Scott Truman, and Tyler Navarro. Now, why did I pick these 3 for my Forever Red team? Number 1, I wanted Rangers that were not in the original Forever Red special. So like Tommy and Jason were immediately out. Time Force Red, Quantum Ranger, all that. They're gone. I didn't want to use them. 2, I wanted to use some of the new guys. So, Scott and Tyler were each just recently released, Arsenal pack and the RPM pack respectively. So I wanted to bring them in. I wanted to show everyone at least how they're used, even though I haven't covered them yet in a breakdown, but They're here, they're gonna be used, it's gonna be fun. And 3, I wanted Rangers that represented different themes. Beasts, space, perspective, kind of whatever. Car driving, and dinosaurs. So beasts, cars, dinosaurs, even though he's kind of a beast in his own right. But, you know, it's kind of like a crossover between them all and everything. So I think it's a cool little arrangement of all of them. This is the first player token that was a special that came with the Arsenal and RPM pack, along with the Forever Red deck. This is a heavy metal coin. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm just showing it right here so people can see it. I will not be using this for this game. I'm going to be sticking with the standard red first player token, and we're going to put that, or not first player token, Ranger leader token, and we're going to leave that on Scott for right now because I feel like he's the best leader out of them all. Now then, starting from the top, Marv Shin, I've covered him before in the Hyperforce. Determination, once per battle, you may either discard one card from your hand to gain an energy or spend an energy to draw a card. Probably will not be drawing any cards because that's what I do a lot in solo mode anyway, but having the ability to gain that energy, fantastic. Moving down the line, Scott Truman, Ranger Operator Series Red from Power Rangers RPM, Assault Burst. Once per battle, before rolling dice for any attack, you may add up to 3 dice to that attack, but then you have to skip the next Ranger turn in battle. Probably something really good to do more near the end of a fight, because if you skip a battle and kill something, it's fine. And lastly, we have Tyler Navarro, Dino Charge Red Ranger. I am positive that we're going to be seeing more Red Rangers come out soon. The RenCon for June is happening very, very soon. If it hasn't happened already by the time this goes live, it hasn't. It's about a week or so away from when I'm recording this. So very curious. I think we're going to see Dino Fury over Dino Charge, but there's a good chance we'll see these guys too. Anyway, it's about to get wild. Once per battle at the start of any Ranger turn, any Ranger may draw 2 cards. If they do, add 2 dice to the next attack card. That Ranger performs that turn. So he chooses a Ranger. That Ranger must draw 2 cards, and then they can add 2 dice to their attack. And it's not up to or whatever. It's any Ranger may draw 2, and if they do, they add 2 dice. So you have to draw the 2 cards for you to get the 2 dice. That's Tyler, that's Scott, that's Marv. These little tokens right here are going to represent their once per battle abilities. Zordon sending in his powers and, you know, encouragement for that. We got our 4 health tokens right here, or lives, I should say. So if anybody falls in battle, we use one of those. 5 action points, or action tokens, I should say. We can get up to 7 through solo mode. I got 2 here in the center. Again, I'm using my buddy Paul's tokens that he makes. These fit beautifully into these rage sections over here, and that's where I'll be keeping track of my experience points. Level at 0. Let's see what our arsenal cards are. Might as well get these out before we go anywhere. The first one, so we draw 2 down, and those are the ones that we have for this round. At the end of the round, if we don't use them, they go back to the bottom of this deck. The first one we have is the Quantum Mega Battle Armor. After you roll dice for an attack, you may convert 1 miss to a hit or 1 hit to a double hit. That's really cool. That requires 2 shields worth of cards to be discarded. So one person can discard 2 shields, or 2 people can discard 1 shield. Next, we have the Red Battleizer Armor from In Space. Before you roll dice for an attack, add 1 dice to that attack. So I got 2 charges on this one, 3 on this one, 2 shields, and 3 shields. That's pretty cool. All right. With all said and done, let's go ahead and start this up. There is another thing that I added to this scenario, and that is the constant threat of Venjix. Venjix will appear in every monster fight going forward, and the boss fight. But when I get to him and show him how he works, I'll explain it. But generally what it is I'm going to be using the 3x3 grid when I go into those fights. 3 cards are going to be from the monster that comes from the deck. 3 cards are going to be Venjix, and then you can have up to 3 foot soldiers in that battle as well. Venjix cards are going to not go back into the deck, anyone that I defeat, and he's just going to come back and back and back in every one. If I don't beat Venjix by the end of the battle with the boss, or the monster, I should say, like if I'm fighting a monster with Venjix, he'll run away. Venjix will run away, but the monster will stay there, so I got to beat that. So the idea is to kind of beat them both for extra experience, but if you don't, then Venjix will run away to the next monster, and you just got to run after him and beat him. So with all that said and done, let's go ahead and start up this deployment phase. Here we go. So now again, what I draw from here, even though I'll be placing the figure of that type on the board, that doesn't mean that we're fighting that type. So every time I draw a Mastodon Trooper, that doesn't mean we're fighting a Mastodon Trooper. Every time I pull a Cog, that doesn't mean we're fighting a Cog. We may, because they're in the deck, but we'll have to see what we get. But this is all standard stuff. It's going to be 5 draws and then go from there. So first one is a single Mastodon Trooper at the Resistance Hideout. I hate starting with 1s early. I'd rather get 3s out of the way in the early game to get as much experience as possible. Next, on the next one, we have 2 Mastodon Troopers at the Interstate Highway. All right, so we'll put these guys here. So far, they're all in the negative effect zones. That's fun. We're going to do this in a moment. I just want to get everybody on the board first. All right, next, 2 Cogs at the Stone Canyon High. Getting a little spread out here. Not a big fan of that. I need more to go in a particular area, so I don't mind if 2 more go here, so I can just move on over, fight the 4, and then move out, because that's the positive and negative of a 4 figure limit zone. You can go in there and clear it out easily. I'm still going against like the 2x4 row when I'm only fighting foot soldiers. It's when I fight monsters that it turns into the 3x3. All right, next. 1 Cog to the hideout. You know it's going to be a 3 all at the end. They're all the 3s are going to come out at the very, very end when I'm going to get like completely panicked by stuff. Come on, big number, big number, big money, big money, big money, stop! 2 Mastodon Troopers to Stone Canyon High. I actually really like that. That is good. Because that means this is a full figure limit over here of 4, which of course panics it, unfortunately, but it gives me reason to go up here and defeat these 4 and clear this out and unpanic it, and we get the positive reaction from this of when we move from here, everyone can take something from the discard pile and throw it onto the top of their deck. As far as the Zord graveyard goes right here, let's go ahead and take our pile of Red Ranger Zords, shuffle this up, and pushka! Oh, the Red Ape Ninja Zord is currently in the Zord graveyard. Exhaust this card at the start of any Ranger turn, choose a card name. All cards with that name have a shield value of 3 until the end of turn. Only if you're in the Zord graveyard can use that. So our big red ape is just going to hang right there. I don't think there's going to be much planning in this situation. We kind of know what we're going to do. We'll spend our first action point in order to jump ourselves over to Stone Canyon High. And then from there, we'll go ahead and activate a battle and fight these 4. Beat them all in theory, quote unquote. Hopefully, please, we can do this. And then clear that out. And then after that, I think I will go to, let's go over to the Resistance Hideout, because I don't have any Zords, so I won't have to worry about doing this ability, and I can clear that one out. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll clear that. So move, fight, and then I have a 5th action that I may be able to recharge within that. Now, normally you draw your cards at the very beginning of the game and whatnot, so everyone would have cards in their hands in order to be able to equip these. The thing is, I generally don't draw cards until I get into my first battle, and you can't equip anything while you're in battle. So even though I have these 2 here, and I probably could easily equip them to somebody, I'm not going to do that until I am done with this first battle. Just also to kind of also give a good feeling of how these 3 work together. So let us go ahead and flip, as it ran away from me, over to the Stone Canyon High. And then here we go with the fight. Zooming on in, and let's go Reds. Bah! Red streak right on in. You heard what we said. Forever red. Yeah, all right. Let's see how many more rhyming words we can do for this battle. All right. Before I begin drawing cards, I do want to talk about really quickly all of their decks, because each of their decks do have things that are swapped out for Forever Red cards. I took pictures of them, so I'm going to show you these on the screen as I go through them, just as a reference as to what's in what deck. For Tyler, I took out a Final Strike and replaced it with United Stance, and then I took out a Forward Motion and replaced it with One for All. Honestly, he had some really good cards in his deck, and I didn't want to replace too many, but that I think was a good swap, those 3 shields and the 2 shields for those 2 cards. Scott, I did a few more. The Attack Sequence Mustang got swapped out for a Red Strength, and then I took out a Condor Strike and Redline Slash and gave him a Rising Power and Commanding Strike. So really good red cards right here also for him. I liked a lot of his cards. I kept his Nitro Blaster. Just see how he does. And finally, we have Marv. I took out his Blade Blaster and replaced that with a Red Strength. I took out a Defensive Stance and gave him Forever Red, so he has that. And a Double Slash is replaced with Stand Together. I think he's way better like this, so let's see how he holds up. With that said, let's get drawing and go into our first battle. First, we'll go with Marv. We have a Find Weakness maneuver, gain 1 energy. Next time any ranger performs an attack this battle, add 2 basic attack to it. And I have a Double Slash, 1 energy, 2 dice. After you resolve this attack, you may discard 1 card from your hand to perform a second attack with 2 dice, targeting a different card. Scott, we have the Nitro Blaster, 3 dice. You may divide the damage from any attack equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. So 1 energy will do a 3 dice attack on 1 person, 2 energy will do a 3 dice attack on 2, etc., etc. That way. Of course, this is the one you want to add as many dice to for sure. Here we go, Forever Red card, Commanding Strike, 2 dice attack. If you are the lead ranger, which he is, another ranger may immediately play 1 card after you resolve, otherwise add 1 die to this attack. And we'll do 2 from Tyler. Go for it! Another ranger may immediately play 1 card. They ignore guard, which is awesome. Or re-roll any number of dice during the attack. If you've already used your once per battle ability, do both. No one's used it yet. And we'll keep going with a Final Strike. 2 dice. If you've already used your once per battle ability this turn, add 1 dice to this attack. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over and I'm going to draw 1 more from Scott. I got to keep these together because I'm going to be very confused about whose cards is which. Gain 1 energy. Next time any ranger performs an attack this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. Rev the engine. Nice. All right, cool. This should be fun. And as I said with this, there are 20 different foot soldiers in here, all having to do something with red. It doesn't matter what other foot soldiers we're fighting, who comes out, who stays. You know, these are just a representation of an enemy that we need to fight within this area. But we're allowed to fight all 4 because we're just going up against foot soldiers. So the first one we were fighting are Quantrons, priority target, deal 3 damage to the lead ranger. We have the in-space red right there. Next, we have the Clockwork Blast. This is a fast card. Great, we lose this turn. Drain 1 energy, deal 2 damage. It's a red card, you know, more red hue than anything else, and I hate this card. It's so terrible. Oh, we got a second one there. That's really bad as well. There goes another energy and another wow. Okay, well, there you go. I didn't mean to draw 2 of the sames on all of them, but hey, there they are. That's fun. So we're just going to go ahead and pop that right there. We're going to drain an energy, so now we only have 1 in the pool, and who's going to take 2 damage? I'm going to start it with Marv. Marv's going to start this off with 2 damage, and his Impetus Blaster will be able to absorb all of it. Sounds good. I got my little lightning bolt here that shows whose turn it is. Our turn got skipped. This guy went. So now it's our turn, and here we go. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to immediately go into here, and we're going to use Tyler's ability. So we'll say we use this. Once per battle at the start of any ranger turn, which is what we're doing right now, any ranger may draw 2 cards. If they do, they add 2 dice to the next attack that ranger performs during this battle. I'm going to have Scott actually draw 2 cards. And he draws, his first card is Redline Slash. If there's no energy in the shared pool, add 1 dice to this attack. And then he also gets Rev the Engines. Gain 1 energy. Next time any ranger performs an attack this battle, add 2 dice to it. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to play the Nitro Blaster, and he's going to spend 2 energy. 1 from the shared pool, and then 1 from his own card. So that means we're going to roll 5 dice, and we're going to be able to spread 5 dice worth of damage amongst 2 cards. Ideally, we want to get rid of the Clockwork Blaster, and then we can start attacking maybe the priority target and things along that ways. Is it possible to get 6 damage between that? Yeah, it is. 5 dice is really not like all out of the water on it, but at least then we'll be able to knock things down a little bit more. So 5 dice, looking for 6 damage, but at least we can do 3 and then knock this guy down a little bit more. Ideally, I didn't want to spend the energy on his card in order to do what I got to do, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, all right, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we know at least we defeated the Clockwork Blaster, and then we did just 1 shot to the priority target. And yes, that was a red dice tray with red dice. So boom, boom, boom. Fantastic, that's good. I'm just going to get rid of any one of these guys. It doesn't really matter. And now it is their turn, so they trigger. This actually goes to the discard pile. I'm going to draw from Tyler here. T-Rex Smasher, 3 dice. Next time anyone for an attack this battle, add 2 dice. It's just the thing, I can chain dice from one to the next on a lot of these guys. I just got to get to it. So we did that. Boom, boom. It is our turn again. All right, first we're going to do the red line slash. There is no energy in the shared pool right now because we used it all, and the other two haven't decided to pump theirs in, which is fine. I like that. Telling you, Scott has 2 cards right now that each do 3 dice worth of damage because this becomes a 3 dice damage card because there is no energy in the shared pool, which is awesome. So adding 1 dice to this, 3 dice, no energy cost needed, going after the priority target. All right, so 3 dice, 2 damage is all we're really looking for there. Oh my goodness, geez, are you kidding me? I realized I probably should have used his Assault Burst when I used that Nitro Blaster, because skipping a turn wouldn't have mattered. It would have added 3 more dice to the attack, and it would have killed the other one, so that would have been great. But hey, whatever, we beat it. Hooray! All right, so that's all gone. That's awesome. This has been beaten. We'll put that in the discard pile. I'm actually not going to draw anything because I have a lot of cards in my hand right now. Bloop, bloop, right here we go. Yeah, let's have Tyler jump in there for the funsies of it all. 0 cost, 2 dice attack. If you've already used it once per battle, add 1 dice. That's why I used it. So this way he could get his additional dice on this. So 3 dice, 0 costs, going after, well, that priority target. All right, here we go. 3 dice, 3 damage, as the law of averages say, and there it is. Wow, these guys are doing really good. I'm rolling a lot of dice with these Red Rangers. That's why I'm confident in this scenario. I feel like this is going to be a good one. Okay, boom, boom, boom. That is gone right here. What is it? Let me take these 2 away. We do have just 1 left here. That's going to go to discard pile. Again, I'm not going to draw anything because I have a ton of cards in my hand. What I am going to do is I will use, because this goes... Boom, we do get 1 more turn, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Commanding Strike. I am the lead ranger, so I gain 1 dice for this attack. It is a normal 2 dice attack, because this is Scott's card. It was in his hand, but I'm also going to use his special once per turn ability. Before rolling your attack, you may add 3 dice to this attack. Skip the next ranger turn in battle. There is no ranger turn next, so 6 dice against a 3 health enemy. That's the power of the Red Ranger. There it is. Oh boy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that annihilates this guy completely, thus clearing that all out. This is going to go to Scott's discard pile. I got to remember whose is whose. I'm going to draw from Marv just to add 1 more to the hand from there. Find weakness. Okay, and that's going to end it here in the Stone Canyon. Let's do this a cleanup. I'm going to put these, I think I said I was going to put them on the bottom. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's, do I want to put them on the bottom or do I want to make a discard pile and then reshuffle? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to make a discard pile for these so these won't be in the next battle. So this way we can get through all the cards and we can just see what they all do. There are elites in here as well. So if I fight and beat an elite, that's going to be 2 experience as opposed to 1. So just another thing to remember as we go through this. To add some experience here, shall we? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to be heading over to the Resistance hideout, I believe, right now. Yes, that's where we're going to go. Let's add these back here. You're going to stay as the lead ranger, Scott. Before we go anywhere, let's go ahead and equip some, these arsenal cards. Now, another reason why I want to do this is because I wanted to see how everybody kind of worked to figure out which one of these 2 would be better for them. Let me move these dice out of the way, get those out of here. I want both of these. I want the Red Battleizer and the Quantum Mega Battle Armor. So that requires discarding cards of shield values equal to what it is that I'm looking for in the upper left. So the Red Battleizer Armor, I'm actually going to take Scott right here. This adds a dice to attacks. I'm going to discard this from my hand, paying all the 3 cost here, and we're going to snap this right onto Scott. So this goes here. And I'll use these yellow colored energy tokens as the charges for the armor. Now, before you roll the dice, we can remove one of these to add 1 dice to the attack. I now have a single 1 shield card for Go For It and a single 1 shield card for Find Weakness. It doesn't matter who you discard, so long as they are discarded from hands beforehand. So these are all going to go to the discard piles. That's 2. I'm going to take the Mega Battle Armor and I'm going to give it to Tyler. And again, this is, well, you know what? No, I'm actually going to swap. I'm going to give it to Marv because Marv has a few attacks that do multiple attacks to them. And I think this would work because I'd be able to convert a single dice to a double dice, or at least a miss into a single hit, which honestly, that first part is way more important because guaranteeing damage is better than anything else. Okay, so we did that and everything. If there were other arsenal cards up here, we could do a recover action, and the shields that we would normally recover, we can reduce them by a certain number in order to make the arsenal cards cheaper. So for example, I think this works with solo. I don't know for sure. To me, I think it does. It should be fine. But whenever we do a recover in solo mode, you do 6 shields for 2 characters. You could take one of the characters and have them only recover 4 shields, and then that extra 2 would go to reducing the cost of various arsenal cards. So maybe at the beginning of the second round, we'll have 2 thrown out here, and then we can reduce them and use them later. Once you take an arsenal card and equip it, then the other one is gone. There is no discard pile, it's just gone from the game. So once this is used up completely, then we don't have any more. Anyway, move on over to the Resistance Hideout, and let's go ahead and start up the next battle right now. In here we go. There is no resistance when dealing with Red Rangers. Let's go. All right, so Marv, I have a fine weakness and a double slash. This is what I was talking about for his Quantum Mega Battle Armor. We have Rev the engines right now for Scott, and Tyler has his T-Rex Smasher. Next time anyone performs an attack, they add 2 dice to that attack. I'll draw 1 for Tyler, the Dino Saber, a straight 3 damage, and any ranger may draw 1 card. If they do, you may ignore the guard keyword when choosing this. Oh, that's awesome. Let's do 1 more. I'll put it over here for Scott. This is the attack sequence Mustang. Play this card at the start of an enemy turn in battle. For each energy spent to play this card, reduce all damage dealt to rangers by 1. That's great because if it's a multi-hit attack, this will reduce every hit from that. Let's just go Marv one more time. There we go, Red Strength. I like this card. Play this card when any ranger adds dice to another ranger's attack, add 2 additional dice. So that means he can play, if he actually had an attack, if Scott had an attack, which unfortunately he does not, the Red Battleizer Armor to gain 1, and then Red Strength could be played in order to gain 2 more. So that could gain 3 dice. 3 dice! That's insane. That's amazing. I love it. Okay, that's enough. We're good. That was also 7 cards, so, you know, it is what it is. Drawing the first one. Here we go. Okay. Deploy 1, it says Crybot to this location. This is a 2-prong attack from the blue-headed Crybots. Deploy 1 Crybot to this location with the location with the fewest foot soldiers. Each ranger in that location must discard top card of their deck. Just pretend that says foot soldier. Deploy 1 foot soldier to the location with the fewest. There are no rangers there, but that means somebody's going to go on the field if I don't get rid of that. And again, it is an elite, so I will gain 2 experience by beating it. And the next one we have, it's a fast card, so we'll be able to do this. From the Tyrannodar drones, Hardened Scale, drain 1 energy. God, stop it. The next time a ranger performs an attack during this battle, remove 1 dice from that attack before rolling. Ew. Goodness gracious. I want to get rid of this, but this is bad and we lose our turn. Red Dino Thunder, Red SPD. All right, here we go. Let's just go ahead and do this now. So we've lost 1 energy, so that's 1 less energy in the pool. And yeah, that's it. What is this again? Next time a ranger performs an attack, they lose a die. Beautiful. Fantastic. Moving on over. Our turn. You know, the one thing I did forget to do when I left the Stone Canyon High was take cards from my discard pile and put them on top of my deck. They would have went to my hand in this, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to have this go on top of Marv, the Impetus Blaster, the Command Strike on top of Scott, and Final Strike is going to go on top of Tyler, just because I wanted to get that positive ability from the Stone Canyon High before anything else. Now, with that said, nothing here actually does any type of attack. I need to do something. I mean, I have not a lot of energy, so why don't we go ahead and do the T-Rex Smasher. I want to kill this thing as fast as I can, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but at least for 2, I'll get a 3 dice attack, and the next time somebody does an attack, they're going to be able to add 2 dice to that attack. All right, 3 dice for 4 damage on Tyler. I don't think this is going to work, but hey, we'll see what happens. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, Tyler, you're amazing. Oh, yeah. Monster extinct. Well, Crybot extinct anyway. But the good thing about that is, as I mentioned before, because this is an elite and we have beaten it, that means we have gained 2 experience. which of course is all we need in order to be able to get ourselves to our first Zord. So I'm actually going to remove all of these as we will get them later. And the very first Zord we have added to our... Yes, the Red Battle Zord. Exhaust this card during any Ranger turn in battle to perform an attack with 3 dice instead of playing a card. So you do not have to play a card. You can just exhaust the Red Battle Zord to do an attack with 3 dice. Tyler's T-Rex Smash says that the next attack gains 2 dice. This is considered an attack because it said it in there. Why don't we go ahead and just do that anyway instead of having to draw any cards? We're going to exhaust the Red Battle Zord and do a 5 dice attack against a 3 health Tyrannodrome. A lot of this feels like overkill, but if we get our good rolls out now, we're not going to have anything for the monster later. Yeah! Oh, jeez, that's what I'm talking about. So what I mean, get the good rolls out now, and then when we fight Venjix and all the other bad things, we're just going to be losing badly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ouch. Nice. All right, well, just to show what happened, that was here. This was our turn. We used the Red Battle Zord, Zeo Battle Zord right here, and then we killed this guy. So we've cleared out the resistant hideout, which is awesome, and this is going to take us to the end of round 1. Okay, so with that said and done, we are going to be ending our turn here. The only other enemies on the board are at the interstate highway. So I think what I'm going to do I want to move there or do I want to just use that? You know, let's just use this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do a recharge. We're going to recharge Scott and we're going to recharge Tyler because I want them to have their, their power back, their energy back. I'm just going to throw these 2 energy crystals here for the next battle. So we'll do 6 for Scott and 6 for Tyler. So Scott has exactly 6 in his discard pile, so those are going to go back to him. And then he only has 4 for Tyler based on everything he has, but I'd rather him have them in his pile instead of not. I wish, because that would have been 2 less shields that I needed in order to be able to do that. So it is what it is. Okay, with that said, we are good to go. Let's go ahead and flip these back over. We then unexhaust the Red Battle Zord, so we just leave that to the side for right now. And now we get to go ahead and see what our next 2 arsenal cards are, because we're in round 2. The Defender Vest for 3. After we resolve an attack, the next time any ranger suffers damage in this battle, reduce that damage by the amount of energy that was spent on the card. And then the Sword of Light. This was something I just kind of threw in there randomly because you got to fill out somehow in the middle. So this is 3. This is also a 3 because R stands for how many rangers are in the game. And because it's solo, there will always be 3. Until the end of this battle, each ranger is considered to have your character's special ability in addition to their own. So I could give this to Scott, and the next battle he's on, that would trigger, and then everybody would have this additional once per battle ability. So these 2 would have their once per battle abilities, plus they'd be able to use Scott's. So you could do multiple additional 3 dice attacks, but though we're going to be losing a lot of turns. So I don't really know if I really like either of those right now. I may just hold off. Maybe the Defender Vest for Tyler. I don't know. We'll see. All I know is this is when things are going to start to get wild, as Tyler would say, because we're going to be finding ourselves our first monster here. So, first draw. We're going to put 2 cogs over at the Resistance Hideout, right where we are. That's fun. I love being in areas that I just cleared out and now more enemies have popped in. That's just fantastic. All right, next we have, come on, another single Mastodon Trooper at the Interstate Highway. I'm going to really try to avoid the highway for as long as possible. It can hold 7, enemies in it, and I don't really want to deal with the negative effect here. I should have also discarded the top card of a card here before going into battle. I would say that I probably discarded Tyler's because I think he was the one that used it, and then say it was a 2 shield and it just gets shuffled back in. That's what I'm hypothetically saying for a retcon, and to say that we still did the ability. Yeah, we're going to go with that. I like it. It sounds fun to me because that's this. We're just having fun, right? 2 cogs plus the monster. Anybody have any guesses? Anybody at all? Red themed? Red, red, red. Anyone? 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 Blaze is going to be our monster that we fight here for this particular round. And what's fun is they're all going to the Resistance Hideout. So we got 2 cogs right here. And then, of course, Blades, what I would consider the evil Red Ranger of sorts. I went through the box and found that there is no evil, oh no, there's an evil Yellow Ranger. There was a color that blue. There's no evil Blue Ranger outside of Psycho Ranger. So if you don't count the Psycho Rangers, then Blaze is like an evil Red Ranger. Roxy's an evil Yellow. You had evil Tommy. You had Ranger Slayer Kim, who's pink. You had, who else was there? There was a few, the White Dragon, or the White Megazord from Dino Thunder as an evil one. Robot Tommy Dino Thunder also, because he's Black Ranger and he's evil. So I was looking through to see if there was different colored evil Rangers, and you have all of them except for blue, which does exist in Psycho Rangers, but you know, they're a thing of their own. Anyway, we have Blaze. He's along in here. Remember, along with Blaze, we will be fighting along Vengeance as well. This is kind of Vengeance's revenge, if you want to really call it that, with this, trying to get back at the Red Rangers for what they did to him and that really lame way of killing Serpentera. But I'll explain how we fight him when we get into it. Finally, a 3 going to the Stone Canyon High. Looks like we'll be going back here after we're done with the Resistance hideout, because we're not leaving that area. And we have the last draw, 2 going to the Stone Canyon High, which is really 1, plus the other one going to the highway. Like so. Now, because of this, 1 a panic location and a 2 a panic location. Now, again, this worked out pretty well. Very happy with the way this kind of all worked together, because we're here in the Resistance hideout. Blaze has decided to like show his face. So obviously we're going to go after him first. And then after we fight him, we'll gain an additional action point that we can use for any type of recharges or whatever. Move on over to Stone Canyon High and hopefully get rid of those 4 guys and unpanic these 2 and clear out and just leave this as is. Maybe I'll get rid of it. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. But that sounds like a good plan for the round. All right, so we really don't have to do too much else here. We're going to go ahead and flip this in order to initiate the battle with Blaze and the just everything else there. You're going to stay our lead. We got our full stuff there. I don't really want... Do I want to... You know, just to be safe, I'm going to toss before we begin. So pretend I didn't flip that yet. So before we begin, we haven't moved it or anything. I'm going to get rid of Rev the Engine. We're going to put that into Scott's discard pile, so we can take the Defender Vest. We're going to plop that right over here next to Tyler. Yeah, and we're just going to give him 2 charges. Just something to have a little bit of defense on there. And then, of course, as soon as I play a card, if I know a big hit's coming right afterwards, I can activate this to reduce that damage by however much energy was used to pay for it. So just a little bit of defense, offense, manipulation, love Arsenal. This is actually really cool. This is amazing. Let's get into the fight. Move over, Blaze. I need to come in here and take my revenge on the Red Rangers for humiliating me on the moon. Who is this guy? I don't know. I've heard about him in history. I've heard of him. He needs to go down now. Red Rangers, ready to go. Okay, so this is a 3x3 board. The way this is going to work is that the top 3, this is supposed to be for Mastermind mode, but I'm using this board for this scenario to work with this the setup that I have. The top 3 cards are going to be Blaze. The next 3 cards are going to be Vengeance. The next 3 cards are going to be the Foot Soldiers. If I beat a Vengeance card, I will gain 2 experience per card. At the end of this battle, if I have not defeated all 3 cards for Blaze, then Vengeance just runs away. Every card I defeat will not go back into his deck in order to be able to like weaken him for a little bit later. You know, if you want to get some really strong cards out of the way, you won't see them later. But then again, you know, just you may get some of the weaker cards first and have to deal with the bad stuff again. I have to defeat all 3 of Blaze's cards in order to beat him. Again, any one of Vengeance cards will just get rid of that card. Of course, I want to kill them all, but you know, we do what you do. And then the Foot Soldiers are just the Foot Soldiers. If I beat them, great. If not, they all run away at the end. With that in mind, let's see what we got. We have a Fine Weakness and a Double Slash. Great. We have a Red Strength, an Attack Sequence Mustang, and a Dino Saber. I definitely need to draw at least 2 from Tyler. Ugh, I wish that wasn't 2. Just I get how it works, but even still, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 2 from Tyler. I'm gonna grab 1 more from Scott. Red Line Slash. If there's no energy in the share pool, this would gain a dice And then red strength could actually boost that as well. Okay, all right. Maybe we'll just do a chain reaction of various adding dice to the next attack upon the next attack upon the next attack. All right, I think that'll work. Okay, starting from the top. And again, this is going to be 3 Blaze cards, and we just have to beat all 3, and it should be fine. Number 1, we have Shockwave Kick, Fast Guard, deal 3 damage to half the ranges of battle, so 2. Spiteful Slash, deal 2 damage to the rangers with the most cards in their deck. Increase that by 1 for each card in that deck. Ew, don't like that. And then another Fast Guard, Shockwave Kick we've seen before. Good. Okay, so maybe not good, but still a thing. What can I say? All right, Venjix. Guard, 3 damage to the lead ranger twice. Oh, Scotty. Oh, Scott. All right, so this is fast, Thunderburst. So everything is its own individual line, just FYI. 3 damage to each ranger. Yuck. And a guard for another Shadow Claw. Oh, joy. And again, back to this deck here. Only 3 are going out. First, we have a Putty Pummel. Red Ranger's down in there. Some heavy red colorings. That's why I chose this one. Another Putty Pummel. That's fun. I swear I've shuffled this. I don't know. I'm getting 2 in a row. Ew. Oh, man. Okay, well, I can get rid of that pretty well. That is the other Tyrannodon's Hardened Scales. Drain 1 energy. Next time a ranger performs an attack during this battle, remove 1 dice from the attack. I think I forgot to do that. Did I forget to do that in the Tyrannodon's one? I think I did it in the last fight, but I'm pretty sure that I did enough damage where it didn't matter if, like, a miss, like 1 dice not there didn't matter. At least I hope not. I hate it when I mess up like that and kind of forget certain things. And then it's like very important facts that I need to what is it? Not mess up. This is also guarded up here. So let's actually put them on the cards themselves so I know what's guarded where and then what I can hit. So there we go. I love these tokens. Oh, these tokens are amazing. Oh, man. My buddy Paul did a great job making them. They really help out in kind of organizing where things are, what's guarded where and everything like that. It's so good. Now it's a matter of trying to figure out what I got to do to beat everything. Or I just do a Shockwave Kick first. So this would actually go because it's fast. None of the other cards would go ahead of me, so that's good. So this is the first one that goes. 3 damage each to half rangers. So 2 rangers are going to take 3 damage. I'm going to start with Marv as the first one, so he's going to take 3 damage. 1, 2 for the blaster, and then another blaster, so that'll go on the bottom. And then we'll have Tyler take the other 3. Go for it as 1. Final strike, 1, 2, 3, down on the bottom. Okay. All right, we're going to start just a cascade of dice adding going forward. T-Rex Smasher. We're going to do a 3 dice attack against the Shockwave Kick right here because it's not guarded by anything. 2 energy, 3 dice. The next time any ranger performs an attack, they're going to add 2 dice to that attack. I'm going to make sure that whatever I attack, I'm going to be able to hit pretty hard because I think I'm going to add even more to it. So we're just going to do 3 dice against the Shockwave Kick, and we will go from there. All right, here we go. 3 dice against the Shockwave Kick, and it does 1 whole damage. All right, see, told you. You got to watch out for those rolls. All right, so that's just going to do 1 damage there, unfortunately. What next? We're going to go over here, and we're going to use the Defender Fest. We're going to take away 1 charge, so the next time a ranger suffers damage, that damage is now going to be reduced by 2, because that's how much the T-Rex Smasher was. So that's kind of why I wanted to play that. So Blaze is going to do 3 damage to a ranger. I'm sorry, 1 damage to a ranger, and then 3 damage to a ranger. And then we're going to do, we're going to do Marv first. So he's going to take 1 damage, 1. Perfect, stand together, which would have been great to have, but that's all right. That goes on the bottom. Tyler is then going to go ahead and take the next 3. So United Strike goes to his discard pile because that was 3. And I will draw 1 from Scott to go into my hand as a command strike. Awesome. So now the next attack that happens is going to have 2 dice added to it because of the T-Rex Smasher. So this was our turn. This just went with 1 damage. And now it is our turn once again. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to use Determination, Marv's ability. So once per battle, I can discard a card from my hand to gain an energy, or I can spend an energy to draw a card. I'm actually going to discard Find Weakness. I know Find Weakness gives me energy anyway, and then of course it adds an attack to the next ranger's turn, but it's a maneuver and it's going to take away my whole attack, or my whole turn, I should say, so I don't really want to do that. So I'd rather just discard that and then gain the benefit of just having that energy right there. However, I'm now going to immediately use this energy to play his double slash. And by that, I'll be able to do a 2-dice attack. And after I resolve this attack, I can discard 1 card from your hand to perform a second attack, which for him would actually be red strength. This is in his hand right now. So I'd have to discard this in order to do a 2-dice attack against something else. However, this is a 4-dice attack because of the red T-Rex Smasher. So we're going to do a 4-dice attack, and I'm going to go up against... killing Blaze is kind of the important thing, even though killing Vendrix cards is great too. Oh boy. Yeah, we're just going to kill Blaze's stuff. So I'm going to do a 4-dice attack against Shockwave Kick to try to do 5 damage to it. All right, here we go. Maybe I'll be able to do something with that Quantum Mega Battle Armor. So 4 dice, we want 5 damage. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use a charge from the Quantum Battle Armor to make a miss into a hit, and that is enough that is needed in order to defeat the Shockwave Kick. So boom, that happens. What I'm now going to do, and I'm just going to do this now for anything else, is I will discard the red strength from my hand to be able to do a 2-dice attack against the other Shockwave Kick, because that has 4 damage to it. So I only get 2 dice on that. It has 1 damage. I need to do, it's 2 dice and 4 damage. It's not going to happen, but at least I can knock it down a little bit more. And you know what? Do I want to do this? Yes, let's go ahead and, because that's 3. Do I use the other? Yeah, all right, fine. I'm going to use the other Mega Battleizer armor to flip this from a 1 hit to a 2 hit. So I did 3 hits on that. Okay, that's fine. So we know that this is defeated. So that's gone. And then I've done an additional 1, 2, 3 damage. So this only needs 1 more damage for it to go away. And then I can kind of unguard this a little bit better. So 1 down, almost 1 down, 1 to go. And we've used 1 card from Marv. And I am going to draw from Scott. Street Saber Strike, 3 energy, 3 dice. Before rolling, if any effects adds dice to this attack, you may choose one of those effects and apply it an additional time. So this could be a lot of dice on 1 attack, but I need stuff that spreads damage. And because of that, we've gone ahead and used both of these charges. So this is going to be discarded. He doesn't have it anymore, but I think that was well worth it. All right, what is this one? 2 damage to the Ranger with the most cards in their deck. Increases by 1 for each card in their deck. Oh, let me count, hold on. All right, Tyler's taking 8 damage. That is awful because he has 6 cards in his deck, and it's 2 damage plus 6, so 8 to him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh goodness, 7, 8. Wow, wow, that was awful. That was terrible. He couldn't even use a Defender Vest because he wasn't the one that played a card last turn, so he couldn't have reduced it by anything. Oh, that's terrible. All right, so that is an activation. Then it's our turn once again. It's going to be 3 damage to each Ranger. That is going to be terrible, but I need to figure something else out here. So it is Scott's turn. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use the Commanding Strike. There is no energy within the shared pool, so this is a 3-dice attack. And I'm going to have him use a charge of the Red Battleizer armor, so now it's going to be a 4-dice attack. And I'm going to go up against... Obviously, I'm going to go up against this particular Shadow Claw, because this Shadow Claw is now blocking a few different things. I want to just get rid of this card. Yep, that's what we're doing. I mean, 4 dice, 5 damage is a possibility, but only with some manipulation. Hopefully, 1, 2, oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oh, this is brutal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I need Scott's Nitro Blaster big time. Draw from Marv, see what I can get here. Impetus Claws, 3 energy. I don't have the energy for these things. After you resolve this attack, you may perform a second attack with 2 dice, and then an attack with 1 dice. Yay, whoopee. But now, what is this one? Thunderburst. Yep, Thunderburst goes. 3 damage to each Ranger. We'll start with Marv. He shouldn't be dead. That's 1, 2, 3. It's a defensive stance. All right, that's a thing. All right, Scott, you have the most cards now in the deck. That's 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, down on the bottom. Do we have 3 shields worth of cards left? 1, ouch. Oh, Final Strike on the bottom, perfect. So that's there. All right, if this Shadow Claw goes off, then Tyler is dead. If this Shadow Claw goes off, then Tyler is dead. Oh boy. All right, we got to do it. I'm not having much energy luck with this, but at the very least, I should be able to do something. I'm going to play the Impetus Claws right here. This is going to be a 3-dice attack from Marv. I don't have any ways of boosting that at all. Nope, nothing that I have. So I'm going to do a 3-dice attack on the Shadow Claw. After that's resolved, I can do a 2-dice attack. I'm going to do that on this Shadow Claw in order to at least get 1 damage, hopefully, in order to get rid of it. And then I'm going to have 1 die again to be able to go against Shockwave Kick. So it's going to be 3, 2, 1, with the theory being doing the most damage to this as I possibly can. If I kill it, hooray, but I doubt it. Then doing 1 damage and 1 damage, knocking out both of these cards, and then like really helping out that way. All right, let's start swiping these claws. Marv, here we go, my buddy. 3 dice against the first Shadow Claw that has no damage on it, doing 3 damage to that Shadow Claw. That is great. Okay, now we'll just take one of these away. We have 2 dice. 2 dice to do 1 damage. Okay, well, you really want to kill that thing, so I agree with you. I'm fine with that. So let's take away 1 more dice, and let's do 1 damage to the Shockwave Kick, please. There! Yes! 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 All right, so I already dropped the damage on all of them, which is fine. So this card is defeated. Now, whenever I defeat a Vengeance card, I gain 2 experience. So it's kind of like an elite monster that has jumped into every battle with monsters. And then this I also just defeated as well. I didn't put anything on it, so that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. As long as I also defeat 4 cards in total out of the 6, and I defeat the main monster, then I'm going to go up in a Zord level. So defeating this last card from Blaze will get me a Zord as well. And I also can take away that guard there, and I can take away this guard over here, and this guard right here. Okay, that's good. That was fine. That was dandy. We've used that. I'm going to draw from Scott. Don't be the Nitro Blaster. Red Strength. Okay, I could use that. That's good. Actually, now I want the Nitro Blaster. Now I really want the Nitro Blaster, but I also need energy. Energy is a fantastic thing to have. So Vengeance is going to go, bloop, and now it is our turn once again. The problem is I need energy. I need at least 1 energy right now to do something, but we're going to go ahead and use the Red Line Slash. It's a 3-dice attack because there is no, energy in the shared pool. So it's a 3-dice attack going against Shadow Claw. I only needed to do 2 damage in order to get rid of Shadow Claw and then make sure that Tyler does not die. Actually, Shadow Claw would have hit the lead ranger twice, which would have been Scott, which means he would die. So 2 damage, 3 damage is better than that's better than what I was hoping for sure. That takes care of that particular damage. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. I know I could have added another dice to this attack. I could have added multiple dice to this attack, actually, based off of the Red Battleizer and what is it? I have Scott's Red Strength in my hand, but doesn't matter. We beat that. That's good. Both of these guards are out of here, which is great. That's this card. I will draw from Marv just to kind of keep cards moving. Forever Red. I don't need this right now. This is a maneuver. Until the end of battle, each time a ranger performs an attack, they may re-roll any number of dice in that attack. Good to have in my hand for future boss and monster fights because re-rolls are great. But for the remainder of this battle, doesn't really help. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and exhaust and bloop bloop right here. Why is there a guard here? Is there a guard on this one? Oh, because that was guarding. Okay, never mind. So I can hit this. All right, that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to do this because, again, each one of the Vengeance cards does give me 2 experience. At least that's how I do it, because, again, I consider it kind of like an elite monster going through this. I don't really have any attack cards in my hand, unfortunately. And the next thing I'm going to do... what do I want to do? I have no energy. I need energy. All right, I hate to do this because I know I'm going to need it for something, but I'm going to use one of my actions in order to add 2 energy to the pool. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. That is a thing. What I am going to then do is I have to spend one of these energies, and I'm going to use Tyler's Dino Saber, which is 1 energy, a direct 3 attack, and any ranger may draw a card. If you do, you can ignore the fast keyword. I'm going to draw from Scott, in the hopes Condor Strike, 2 damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy card other than the target equal to the amount of energy spent. So it's a 0 cost 2 dice, so that's fine. I can actually deal with that. That works. And the 3 guaranteed damage that I have from the Dynasty Saber, I'm going to do against hard scales right here, just to get rid of it, because I don't want to have to worry about the draining of that other energy that I just put in. Do I want to do that? Yes, I am going to do that. That's fine. I'm going to do that. That's good. So we'll just get rid of one of these guys and add his experience to the board. Just dropping it in right here. Might as well, so we know that we're getting close to another Zord anyway here. I'm going to need it, because now it is the turn resolved, so that card resolved. It's our turn once again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Red Battle Zord. Now the problem is I have to discard a card from the top of somebody's deck. And Putty Pummel is definitely going to be killing people because they do 3 damage apiece, and that's going to be terrible. So who do I want to discard? I'm going to discard the top card from Scott, which is the Nitro Blaster. That's actually the card I was looking for, and of course, there it is. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a 3 dice attack against Spitfire Slash from the Red Battle Zord, and then I discarded that top card because of the negative effect from the hideout, by the way, in case anybody out there was wondering. So, going to do a 3 dice attack against this. The Putty Pummel's going to go, and then on my next turn, I'll do the Condor Strike for 2 dice, possibly a 3rd with the Red Battleizer, in order to be able to, kill that thing. I need to kill this. That's why I got to kill. Again, 3 dice, 4 damage is not completely out of the realm of going to happen, but hey, you know, what are you going to do? 2. We're going to do 2 damage to it, so at least that takes it halfway down. All right, plop, plop. Putty Pummel goes. The only one that has 2 cards in their deck is Marv, so let's see what he can do. Will he survive? 1, 2 to the discard pile. Oh, goodness. All right, so he's alive. He's 1 card, but he's alive. Condor Strike, that's X damage. So it's a 2 dice attack, and I can deal 1 damage to an enemy card of my other than the target for every energy that I pay. So if I paid 3 energy, I could kill something else in addition to this, but I'm not going to do that. 0 cost, not going to deal any other damage. 2 dice. I need 2 damage. 2 dice, 2 damage, right? Yes? Yes. Yes. All right, good. Good. Okay, breathing a sigh of relief. My guys are in a lot of pain right now, but that's at least a thing. Okay, here's where it's going to get crazy. That's gone. We did the 2 damage here for the Spiteful Slash, so now we know that we have officially beaten the whole monster, so all these like foot soldiers and everything are going to run away. In the Vengeance deck, these 2 will not go back into the deck, but this one will, so this could show up again in later fights. The Putty Pummel is going to go. It's going to deal 3 damage. Who am I going to have it deal 3 damage to? Scott, you are our savior. You are our fun. That's 3 damage exactly. So Scott has been knocked out by the Putty Pummel, but we are also at the end of the round. Poor Scott is like, oh, he got sent to another dimension, as he usually does sometimes. And then there we go. So hooray, hurrah. We have beaten Blaze. So Blaze is defeated. And Vengeance is like, oh, I will see you in the next fight. And he just runs away as well, because he would only be in this fight. All the other putties are gone, or whatever, foot soldiers. And that takes us to the end of the battle in the Resistance hideout.